So, good evening, friends. In my previous lectures, I held a detailed discussion on police reforms and recommendations made by various committees and commissions. I discussed the important ones. So, committees and commissions, their recommendations regarding police reforms and some common points in the recommendations suggested by them, be it related to establishment of State Security Council, a police establishment board, or separation of investigations from maintenance of law and order, or improving service conditions, enforcing accountability, establishment of police complaint authorities, something we discussed. So we began with National Police Commission, and then we also discussed Prakash Singh versus Union of India case, where the Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment, Supreme Court acknowledged the significance of bringing police reforms at the earliest and gave 7 important directives to be taken care of by, to be implemented, to be followed by central and state governments, particularly the state governments. So after that, we discussed the reasons why, despite so much of effort made by various committees and commissions, why it happened that police reforms were not properly implemented to the extent it was expected. Or in fact, there's nothing wrong to say that there is a significant gap between the suggestions or such recommendations made and the extent to which it has been implemented. There's a, you can say, very problematic or serious disjunction between what was suggested and what has been accepted or implemented by the governments. There has been difference. So we also discussed the problems in the course of implementation of police reforms. Problems like we discussed political indifference or political interference, you can say, for the lack of political will, then bureaucratic inertia. Then we discussed internal resistance in the police leadership, police force, internal resistance against reforms, then some constitutional and administrative issues, then public apathy in general, not so much concerned with police reforms, and all such things put together have either delayed, have actually delayed, the police reforms, in our country. But it does not mean that no initiative has been taken by the government. The government of India has taken several initiatives. As we know that police is the state subject. And therefore the important legislative or administrative actions are supposed to come from the state governments only, whether it is for regarding the establishment or for bringing changes in the structure of police administration or procedural simplification, or for that matter improving service conditions in all such areas of power, authority, jurisdiction, creation of special forces, and coming up with new set of guidelines, rules, regulations for the management of prisons, etc. So more substantive laws were supposed to come from state governments, but central government too has an important role, recommendatory role. Central government can provide a model police act, as it did in 2006. Central government is expected to provide institutional and different kind of logistic support, financial support, institutional support, and then support from emanating from various scientific institutions and agencies, so as to calibrate and so as to strengthen the capacity of the state police force to deal with crime and prevent the crime, or to maintain law and to ensure efficient maintenance of law and order. So government of India has taken some initiatives. I don't mean to say that it has actually led to a significant change in the situation on the ground, but there is no doubt process has been initiated, and it is expected that in the course of time it will gain momentum, and gradually the state governments too will acknowledge the seriousness of this subject matter, police reforms, and they will also work in cooperation with the central government. So there is a possibility at least some initiatives have been taken, and it is likely that it will be followed by the state governments. We expect that. So what are the initiatives which have been taken by the government on the path of police reforms? So these are the initiatives. The first one is, this is the point we have discussed, problems yesterday, and yes, recent initiatives of the government of India. So the most important initiative is regarding legislative changes. because for long it was being demanded by the constitutional experts, legal experts, that how can we think of police reforms if entire police administration functions within the bounds of age-old antediluvian obsolete laws. Although Police Act 1861 has not been replaced, but IPC and CRPC, which also affect the power and functions of the police force in different states significantly. So at least this much has been done. Why? At least a good initiative, welcome initiative by the government, and it happened in 2024, 1st July. It was implemented. So IPC, this is the initiative taken by the government. IPC, Indian Penal Code or Criminal Procedure Code or Indian Evidence Act. These three laws have been criminal law, criminal procedure law. These have been replaced by IPC, CRPC, and Indian Evidence Act have been replaced by BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. So it is a welcome initiative, and which has brought to some extent significant changes in the rules and procedures to be followed by the police administration and the powers and functions. Now, it's not so much substantive, but to a great extent, it has been able to brought some changes. So you have BNSS or Bharatiya Sakshya, July 1st, 2024, it got enforced, replacing IPC, CRPC. And then one more thing which has been added, concept of zero FIR. Zero FIR. So concept of zero FIR has been incorporated in Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, under section 176, I think, 773, sorry, 05, section 7173 BNSS. So what is the concept of zero FIR? This is a very good, the reformative measure which has been taken by the government by incorporating the concept of zero FIR in Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Zero FIR, the concept was actually, it is based on the recommendations made by the Verma Committee. Verma Committee, if you recall, Verma Committee was constituted to suggest changes in the existing laws after that horrific Nirbhaya case took place in Delhi. That incident, Nirbhaya case. So after Nirbhaya case, the government had constituted a Verma Committee to examine the situation and to suggest appropriate amendments in the criminal laws. According to the Verma Committee had suggested the concept of zero FIR to be brought into enforcement, and accordingly it has been incorporated in our Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. It is a zero FIR means that most of you know. So zero FIR means that basic idea is that when a crime takes place, so a person can lodge, the victim can lodge an FIR with nearest police station, irrespective of his jurisdiction, irrespective of the location where the crime has been committed. So crime is committed, you just approach the nearest police station and they cannot refuse to lodge an FIR. So they will lodge an FIR even though the crime may have taken place in an area which is beyond the jurisdiction of that nearest police station. So FIR has to be lodged. It is mandatory for cognizable offences. It is cognizable offence. It is mandatory, and that FIR has to be assigned a number that is known as zero. After that, this this FIR has to be sent to the concerned authority, to the police station, within the bounds of the jurisdiction of which the crime had taken place. So this zero FIR can be lodged by any police station, irrespective of its jurisdiction or the location of the crime. You can lodge an FIR. It is assigned the number known as assigned the number zero, and then zero FIR is sent to the appropriate police authority or appropriate police station, within the jurisdiction of which the case has to be taken care of. And then another regular number is assigned to that zero FIR, or on the basis of zero FIR or a regular FIR is lost. So this is something. What is the purpose of incorporating this concept of zero FIR? The purpose is to ensure that victims, more particularly women, children, victims of serious crime, they lodge a complaint with police authorities without any loss of time. Because if the things are delayed, then crucial evidences may be lost. Getting a point? And it also protects the Aam Aadmi citizens from the kind of harassment which they have been facing since long. that police station very often refuses to lodge an FIR, and then you go to that police station, this is not within our jurisdiction, so gone are those cases. Clear? So today, if an incident takes place, so victims can lodge an FIR in any police station. Any police station, that's known as zero FIR. So concept has been incorporated. It is citizen friendly. It is citizen friendly, and it will also ensure that the immediate response of authorities take place. You lodge a complaint, and then they will send the complaint to the concerned authority. So to register a case from any location, it can be registered. Then you have mandatory updates on progression of case to victims. This too has been ensured under the new laws, that it is the right of the complainant to get information from time to time from police authorities regarding the progression of the case. It is not like you have lodged a complaint and after that you don't know what is happening and they are not disclosing any information. No, it is mandatory for them to inform you about the progress of the case. So these are the legislative changes that we have seen in the new criminal laws, important ones I am discussing here. And then you have some initiatives that have been taken by the government towards modernization of police force or technological upgradation. The most important scheme is here ASUMP, that is assistance to state and union territories for modernization of police force. So ASUMP, this is this is a sub scheme within the larger umbrella scheme of which has been launched by the government for modernization of police force. So a program for the modernization of police force, a part of that program is ASUMP, and ASUMP, assistance to state and union territories for modernization of police force. It is basically aims at strengthening the police force, in different parts of the country, in terms of resources, in terms of capabilities, in terms of training and orientation. Lot many things are there. So it basically it involves a kind of financial assistance to be given from central government to the state governments. So central government to state governments, and this financial assistance is given to develop police infrastructure, to ensure that they have better training centers. So financial assistance is given for physical infrastructure, digital or technology infrastructure, so as to ensure that police force is far more competent and capable to deal with the complex nature of crime that is happening these days. And it is about modernizing the police stations, providing them better equipments, and providing them with better equipments, tools, and technology, better surveillance system, better communication system, and better technology to control crime, and to keep record, processing, documentation. So these are the things which are to be taken care of under this scheme. So ASUMP is basically concerned with financial assistance, which is supposed to be used by the state governments to improve the physical and technological infrastructure to make police far more competent, far more capable and efficient to deal with contemporary nature of crime, more particularly cyber crime and other things. Clear? So this is ASUMP, assistance to strength. Then increasing the strength of cyber cells, a common thing. This is something which is in progress consistently year after year. The number of cyber cells increasing, and then you have these two things. Side train for capacity building. What is this side train? This is about side train refers to National Cybercrime Control Training Center. And National Cybercrime Control, it is a virtual training center. I repeat, National Cybercrime Control Training Center, which is a virtual training center hosted by National Crime Records Bureau. So this is hosted by National Crime Records Bureau, and basic purpose is to train our police officers and sometimes judicial officers as well, to train them with all the tools and techniques to deal with the nuances of cyber crime. So intricate the things which is not often covered in the regular training. So this National Cybercrime Control Training Center, it runs various courses, and within which you have, this is, you have MOOC, that is massive online open courses. So open courses are available. These courses have been made accessible to police officers, policemen working in different parts of the country, easily accessible to them, so that their capabilities to deal, their capabilities and their skill to deal with cybercrime is strengthened. So you have various training tracks. You have a training track for investigators. I mean, say those officers who are involved in investigation. For them, you have a dedicated training track. Then we have intelligence track. So those officials and policemen who are involved in collection of intelligence services, for them you have a training track. Then you have a forensic track. Those who are involved in forensic experts, for them they have for forensic experts we have forensic track of training. So you have different tracks, well designed training programs for different groups, different specialized groups. So for investigators you have a training track. For those officers involved in intelligence services, for them you have a training track. And those who are involved in forensic sciences, forensic experts, for them they have training track. And there are various courses which are easily accessible to the police authorities, officials all over the country, easily accessible. That is known as massive online open courses. Clear? And SoyTrain is all about, it is really about capacity building. National Cybercrime Control Training Center, run by the government agency, National Crime Record Bureau. So it is basically about capacity building, or providing the tool, technology, how to make use of artificial intelligence, and these days, how to operate drones, and lot many things are there, so as to make your police capable of dealing with the contemporary challenges. So these are the initiatives which basically aim at modernizing our police and to make them techno savvy, dealing with technology, and to make them friendly with technology and competent to make use of technology to improve their performance, to improve their efficiency. They have to be ahead of those who are involved in cybercrime. Okay, so they must have an edge over others. Then you have model from then forensic sciences, that is also taken care of. Then you have Model Prison Manual 2024. So biometric systems, CCTV in prison. So entire administration of the prison has been being brought on scientific lines. So these are the initiatives taken by the government. And then you have training and capacity building. Training is not only about knowing the rules and procedures and the protocol, how to write the report and how to submit the report. So it is not only about rules and procedures. More important aspect of training is to improve the quality of behavioral response, administrative behavior, because ultimately administration in any form, administration established by human being, administration is run by human beings, and they cater to the needs of human beings. So those who run the administration, those who are the part of administration, they must be trained in the art of dealing with people. And art of dealing with people is not such a simple thing. So many soft skills are required to be developed to make the police officials, to make the policemen far more, far more accommodative in nature, having accommodative nature in the sense, in the context of democracy, how to deal with the situation, to make them conscious of human rights, to make them more gender sensitive. So they should be trained how to deal with, women and children, and the people belonging to weaker, underprivileged sections of society. So police is not about coercion, is not only about control and regulation. So that would be, that not be suitable for democracy, because Indian police is no more a police under, police which was designed to pursue imperial colonial interest. So we have covered a long distance, and now gradually we are trying to ensure that our police administration ends up becoming a suitable police administration for a modern democratic welfare state. It is not an easy thing. It is an evolutionary process. To work on behavior is not, you can bring change in structure, tools, technique, method, process, in a short period of time. But when it comes to bring uh, progressive and desirable changes in the behavioral orientation of police, it is not such an easy thing. It is a long drawn evolutionary process. So gradually we need to work on that. Point clear? To make our police more conscious of the human rights, more conscious of human rights, and more sensitive to sensitive to the problems of women and children and weaker underprivileged sections of society. And they have to learn the art of working with community, members of community. Today we call it community policing, which is extremely essential. People should not be made to feel by police authorities, which normally happens. They should not be made to feel that police is something which is alien to society, or there is a wall of separation between police and public. So police authorities have to maintain their distinct institutional identity, but it does not mean that you forget, the reality that all institutions are deeply embedded in society, with which they have a mutually influencing relationship. So you need to be cognizant of the developments which are taking place around. No administrative agency institution can ever be successful unless it has developed good relationship with society within the bounds of which it functions. So this is something which has to be done gradually in the course of time by training. By training. So training is not only about mechanical training, rules, regulation, technique, method, process. It is also about a progressive change in the behavioral orientation of the police authorities. So then you have ethics, human rights, gender sensitivity, and the specialized training that I have discussed going on, artificial intelligence, drone, robotics. So police officers, police authorities must be well versed, these technologies. Otherwise, they can be defeated by the criminals these days. And how cybercrime, as the scope of cybercrime is consistently undergoing expansion. So accordingly, police authorities have to improve their capabilities, in the same pace. Otherwise, they can be outsmarted by others. Then you have community policing that I have discussed earlier. That these days we will talk about community policing will not take place by executive order or by enactment of law or simply by launching, there on a particular date that from here onwards we are going for community policing. It is an evolutionary process. Okay, we can talk about it, that community policing has to be promoted, encouraged, and we can hold a lot of debate and discussion. But this is an evolutionary process. Gradually, in the course of time, it will happen that we need to make police understand the significance of working in cooperation with society. And community policing will not take place simply because police authorities and the political leadership at the top are endorsing the same. Community policing will take place only when the police earns trust and confidence of the society. So it's a two-way traffic. Community policing cannot take place by coercion. Community policing cannot take place simply because of enactment of law or order or the launching of some kind of program. No, you'll have to discharge your responsibility with due honesty, integrity. When the police authorities perform their functions with due honesty or integrity, and then with an element of impersonality wherever it is required. Impersonality, not in the negative sense, I mean to say, they should follow rules, regulation, laws in letter and spirit. There should not be any kind of discrimination, that you follow the same rules and regulations for for poor people under privileged sections of society. For them you apply all such laws, rules and regulation, and for rich and powerful you don't do so. So you always find out one or other escape routes. So honesty, integrity, rationality, then impersonality, objectivity. Gradually in the course of time, if you conform to these principles, these norms, then only you will earn the trust and confidence of the people. And that trust and confidence, on the basis of such trust and confidence, that you can initiate or you can begin a movement towards community policing. So community policing is something which has to which can take place only when you earn trust and confidence of society. So community policing, and then you have gender sensitization and women in policing. So gender sensitization, police officials, policemen, they need to be trained. They need to be trained to make the trained so that they are capable of reflecting those integrative values. Gender sensitivity, and there is a limit. Through police training alone, you cannot bring gender sensitivity. We have to work harder. We have to work harder in front from the school days. Are you getting a point? So policemen, by the time they join and they become the part of police force, 70% of work is found to have been done regarding gender perception. So therefore, what I mean to say, that yes, we run various programs and various courses to make our police more gender sensitive. But reality is this, that gender sensitivity cannot come through this training and programs alone. To some extent, you can achieve something, but we have to work quite early. Okay, by the time they have built perception, wrong or right perception about something, it will be difficult to bring desirable changes. Clear? So, gender sensitization and women policing, and women in policing will make police authorities far more representative in nature. And then again, when women are incorporated in the police force, to the extent as it has been recommended by various committees, 33% to 34% at least something. So that will make the police far more effective and sensitive, far more effective and efficient in dealing with the cases related to women. So we can for that will not only promote the case of women empowerment, that will also strengthen the capability of police to deal with crime against women, atrocities committed against women. So that is important. And then you have accountability and autonomy. So recent initiatives which have been taken by the government, the police complaints authority, as we have discussed, the police complaints authority is there in most of the states, and then you have depoliticization. For that, state security commission. But I want to make it clear that police complaint authority, this is something which is more or less in every state. In every state today, you have police complaints authority. There is no doubt about it. In every state, most of the states, with few exceptions, one or two, I think in most of the states you have police complaint authority. But police complaint authorities, problem is that this institution is on the paper, and same is the case with the state security commission. This is also in most of the states. State security commission has been established, 14, 17 states. 17 states have established this through the enactment of law by State Police Act, and in some states it has been established by executive order. Executive order means not so much stable. So State Security Commission, Police Complaint Authority is there. On the paper, things are there. But as far as performance is concerned, that is questionable. In some states, you have State Security Commission only on the paper. In some states, you have State Security Commission and it is working as well. And some states it is working, but it is working without much power and without much authority, without much power and authority. And they don't have, they are not actually doing what they are supposed to do. If you go by the intent behind the directives, intent of the Supreme Court behind the directives which was issued in Prakash Singh versus Union of India case. So State Security Commission, Police Complaint Authority, everything is there on the paper, but in reality they have not been conferred with so much of power or so much of power and authority, and they have not been provided with the required resources to the extent required. Not to the extent it is required. So that's why they have not been able to, they are not doing what they are supposed to do. There is a huge gap. You have, these are the initiatives taken. So some initiatives have been taken. This is a very good initiative. Fine. And here also the government is taking initiative. But most of the initiatives have been taken by the government of India. State governments too will have to, I don't mean to say state governments are doing nothing, but state governments have to do something very much substantive. And training and capacity building, all such support is being given by the central government to the states, and for accountability and autonomy, initiatives have been taken. As I told you, that initiatives have been taken, more particularly regarding State Security Commission, Police Complaint Authority. But this is unfortunate that such commissions and such authorities have not been given the teeth to control and regulate the things to the extent required. They are largely on the papers. Political interference takes place even today. It's difficult to find a state where you can say confidently, regarding which you can say confidently that police authorities are discharging their responsibilities in keeping with the common legal code in letter and spirit, and political interference does not take place. It's very difficult to say. It's not like that. As I told you in my initial lectures, sometimes it appears to us that there is a kind of implicit understanding among the political parties that we'll talk about employment, unemployment, we'll talk about poverty, we'll talk about the interest of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBC or reservation or environment. They will talk about everything, but we are not going to create problems for one another regarding police reforms, because this is a kind of reward. There is an understanding. The one who is the victor, the one who emerges victorious in elections, will get this reward of control over police authority. This is one of the biggest problems on the path of police reforms. So those who are supposed to carry it forward are not willing to do so because they have their own vested interest. ज़्यादा पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स करोगे, पुलिस को ऑटोनॉमी देनी पड़ेगी, पावर अथॉरिटी, पुलिस ऑफिशियल्स आप पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं रहेंगे, एक मल्टी मेंबर बॉडी रहेगी जो ट्रांसफर प्रमोशन ये सब देखेगी, तो इसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या होगा? कॉन्सिक्वेंस बहुत सारे नेता अंदर, ठीक है, और वैसा वो नहीं चाहते. इसलिए पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स मतलब ये इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट. पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स अब तभी हो सकता है जब सोसाइटी जो है पब्लिक क्लाच, ठीक है, कुछ ऐसा मूवमेंट, कुछ ऐसा पब्लिक अपीवल, ऐसे कुछ बातें हों, वो या मीडिया काफ़ी प्रेशर एक्सर्ट करे, जुडिशरी इंटरवेन करे. तो जुडिशरी और मीडिया, सिविल सोसाइटी, पब्लिक, इफ ऑल ऑफ अस exert pressure on the government, then only it will be possible. Otherwise, the governments are not much willing to pursue police reforms. And what happens? They are trying to create an impression that we are going for police reforms. But in core areas, they are not willing to change anything. So on the face of it appears that police officials, they are being trained, trained in the art of how to deal with, these and that, or they are being provided with modern gadgets, tools, techniques, technology, communication system, surveillance system, ye, wo, sites. But the core content is the discretionary power of the police officials. How you're dealing with that? Equation of relationship between political leadership and police leadership. The core areas remain unchanged. You create an impression. You are dealing with the things on the crust, and the core things remain as it is. मतलब सारी कथा कहानी यहाँ की बात को मूल बात ये कि नेता मंत्री ऊपर जो दमदार लोग ऊपर बैठे हैं, बड़ी शक्ति और सामर्थ्य लेकर के बैठे हुए हैं, उनका फोन जब जाता है तो पुलिस वही करे जो वो चाहते हैं. ठीक है, उसके बाद जो रिफॉर्म्स का ताम झाम करना है दिखाने के लिए पब्लिक को, वो कर लो. ये अभी तक तो ऐसे ही समझ में आ रहा है. आगे कुछ बात ऐसी बनेगी तो बनेगी. So process has begun. Let's see what happens. We hope for the best. That initiatives taken by the government will be followed by the states. And most important thing, we need cooperation. There is one more dimension to reforms, that very good relationship, cooperative. We talked about cooperative federalism, but central government and state governments and state government, equation of relationship has to be brought on progressive lines, trust and confidence. आप देखते हैं क्या होता है. पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स की बात हम लोग करें, बहुत सारे इशूज है. सीबीआई की टीम जाती है वेस्ट बंगाल में, सीबीआई के ऑफिसर को थाने में बंद कर देते हैं, अरेस्ट कर लेते हैं. आप सोचो जरा क्या होता है. फिर सीबीआई की टीम महाराष्ट्र में सुशांत सिंह वाला केस है. फिर देखो मुंबई पुलिस कुछ और कह रही है, फिर सीबीआई, फिर पटना पुलिस वहाँ चलती है कि भाई हम भी देखें, समझे, जाने, इन्वेस्टिगेट करें, वहाँ भी एफआईआर दर्ज हो जाता है. तो पटना पुलिस जो है, बिहार पुलिस, वो आती है मुंबई, उसको पकड़ के कोरोना सेंटर पर डाल देते हैं. फिर सीबीआई की टीम जाती है, उसके साथ कोऑपरेट नहीं करते हैं. ये तो मामूली केस हो गया. ईडी के अधिकारी, उन पर अटैक हो जाता है कभी उन पर. तो ये पुलिस के बीच में ठीक है। फिर ऐसे भी केसेस हुए हैं कि एक दिल्ली पुलिस है तो पंजाब पुलिस है, पंजाब पुलिस आकर के बीजेपी के किस लीडर को दिल्ली में उसको अरेस्ट कर लेती है, लेकर के जा रही है, तब तक हरियाणा पुलिस चेस करके उसको रोक लेती है। फिर दिल्ली पुलिस आकर के पंजाब पुलिस हरियाणा पंजाब पुलिस को बैठा लेती है और उसको छुड़वा लेती है जिसको लेके जा रही। मतलब कि एक ऐसा केस था, तजिंदर सिंह बग्गा है कुछ, सॉरी मेरे नाम एग्जैक्ट तो याद नहीं आ रहा है, कोई लीडर थे, उनका केस था। उसमें हरियाणा की पुलिस और दिल्ली की पुलिस और पंजाब की पुलिस सब इन्वॉल्व थे। ठीक है, तो पुलिस के आपस में किस ढंग से वो काम करते हैं, उनका इक्वेशन ऑफ रिलेशनशिप क्या है, ठीक है, पुलिस कोऑपरेट करेगी नहीं करेगी, मतलब चीज़ों को अब समय आ गया कि डिस्कशन से थोड़ा डिस्कसिव पावर कम करके उसको ज़्यादा इसको बोलते हैं ना ये इम्पर्सनल बनाने की बात वो ज़रूरी होगी। कि पुलिस है वो सीबीआई की टीम अगर जाती है तो भाई आपको ये करना पड़ेगा और आप ऐसा नहीं कर सकते। मतलब ये रूल्स रेगुलेशंस इन सब को बहुत, हालांकि लीगल सिस्टम अपनी जगह पे है, रूल्स रेगुलेशंस हैं, लेकिन उसका प्रॉपर इन्फोर्समेंट नहीं हो पा रहा है। ऐसा कैसे होगा? सीबीआई जाती है जाकर के, फिर बंगाल पुलिस आ जाती है, फिर कमिश्नर को वो इंटरोगेट करना चाहती है, नहीं आप नहीं कर सकते, फिर स्टेट पुलिस और सीबीआई। अब समय आ गया कि इन सब चीज़ों को और अच्छी तरह से सिस्टमटाइज किया जाए, सो दैट देयर इज लिटिल रूम फॉर ड्रामा एंड हिस्ट्रॉनिक्स। ठीक है, और प्रोफेशनल तरीके से वो काम कर सके, ये सबके लिए ज़रूरी है। ठीक है, सो एनफ फॉर द डे, थैंक यू वेरी मच।